Right, here we go. It is 4 o'clock. So just wait for a couple of people to join. I'll just quickly share it. Right, hopefully a couple of people are going to join soon. I've got one viewer so far. Let's have a look at the comments. Right, there we go. Right, let's share this. Let's see how it goes. Right, share. We got one person view at the moment. Hello. Just waiting for a couple more people to join, and then we shall be on the way. Hello, Simon Meg. How are you doing? Right, let's get me a thing up. Control. Right, this is going to be the first one we're going to be on about today. Let's see if we can. So, 2 people watching so far. You can probably see the headline I'm going to talk about at the moment. So, that's going to be good. Hello. Let's wait for this to refresh. Brilliant. Hello, Alfie. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing okay, mate. Not long now, and we'll be back in SWORD. So, just going to make sure that this moves when I move it. Trial and error. Let's have a look. Let's move it down all the way back up. 4 people. Is this going to... Right, yeah, it moves when I do that. That's brilliant. When it goes off. Best try not to sing, actually, just in case. So I will share that to people in WhatsApp. Once I shared this to WhatsApp, we should be all good. And then I'm going to share it to the group page, and then we'll get started. When it goes on. Right, I'm sharing that to my group now. Brilliant. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was what Ukraine did the other day. So basically, as you can see there, Ukraine HIMARS launched a site in Russia. So a majority of the Ukraine city, Kharkiv, has said that the situation there has been calmer since Russian missile launchers shelling it were hit by Ukraine fire. So basically what I've read about this is apparently Ukraine have sent a missile and it's hit one of their jets and it's basically shut some stuff down, which is pretty good on Ukraine side of things because it's basically Putin's took a step back. So that's actually pretty good. Now, obviously, it's took a step back because he's like, oh wait, he's got the firepower, so which is quite good. So as you can see on here, I can't read these names, so sorry if I don't get them right, but you can say Ihor Terikhanov commented came nearly 2 weeks after the US and other Western nations gave the go-ahead for Ukraine to hit target inside Russia near Kharkiv. He was speaking at a conference in Germany attended by President Vladimir Zelensky, which is aimed at encouraging European nations to support and invest in Ukraine, which I know quite a few of us have had, but obviously we've got to be careful because we are a part of NATO, and what we don't want to do is piss off Putin, to be honest, because obviously we don't want to go into war, so we've got to be quite careful of what we do, which in my opinion is, pretty shit. But at the end of the day, that's what's going on right now. We don't hear enough of it on the news anymore. It used to be a highlight, but now it's obviously gone down a bit. So the Defense Ministry said Timokava in Kharkiv region, I can't even read that word, has been taken by its forces. Ukraine has not commented. However, on Monday, Mr. Zelensky said Ukraine was continuing counter-strike activities in Kharkiv region. He also denied reports by the pro-Russian Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov. His forces have captured a village in Sumy region, which borders to Russia. The west of Kharkiv said there was no Russian presence in the area. So on Tuesday, the Ukrainian president gave his first ever speech to the Bundestag, the German parliament, making emotional references to German Cold War history. So what it's basically saying on there is obviously they've had a bit more of a tiff, and Ukraine is actually getting back up on this. So which is quite good, because I know at one point Russia just fucking bombed them. So my opinion on that is, it's good and all, we're going to help Ukraine, hopefully, but the thing is because obviously we're not really close to Russia, it's going to be a massive like fight if we do help. Like Putin's already said, he's also threatened us that he will obviously attack any nations that do help, but at the end of the day, it's just a massive balance. So fingers crossed Ukraine gets the support they need and it doesn't cause any commotion for other kind of areas as well, because obviously at the end of the day, what we don't want is war, especially a world war. So going on from Ukraine, we did have Fury versus Usyk, which was quite good. Now, I watched that fight when I was working, and that was a very good fight. Good on Tyson, because you could see from the fight with Ngannou compared to Usyk, he had trained and he actually planned and actually went forward with this, and he did well, I think. Great sportsmanship on both halves, which was good. So if I just see if I can share it. Right, let's just share that one. So obviously you can see here.
Nice, good off now.
Let's mute it for a sec. I don't know if that's actually muted the live, but as you can tell, just unmute it.
Oh, there's a left, and that got Usyk off balance.
From
I don't know if he slipped.
Usyk. It's just such a good fight. I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
Had a chance maybe to step on the gas
just there you can see the defense on Tyson. He's got his reach with him, but he did not break Usyk one bit. He kept coming at it. They both did good on both of the parts. It's just Tyson had his reach. It could keep him away. So, you know what? I keep watching this. He did mock the fight quite a bit, Tyson did, which showboating, you've got to have it in any sport. At the end of the day, that's what sells you tickets and what gets you more people, like into it, which is quite good. I enjoyed that. He did take it a bit too far, but at the end of the day, who doesn't take it far? But yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good fight. Some good shots, man. This is brilliant.
He's got to push on though, Fury's got to go at him though.
Andy Lees is saying exactly that in the corner.
What a hook. Nice.
Ukrainian is hurt.
He did, like I said, he did hurt Yusuf quite a bit, but you know, he stuck it out and he held it together.
Glamour division of
Round
boxing.
9.
And these guys are not letting us down.
That hurt him.
The big fella.
He was going down.
It's rattled. He's stumbling all over the place. Do you believe it?
Just
Do
amazing.
you believe it? He's going. The referee might stop it. Whoa! Fury. He's down.
Now that's the bit that's very controversial at the minute. Obviously, this podcast is about controversy and stuff like that as well. So the ref had obviously means to stop that fight, but to stop that, it should have been a TKO. You know, if the ref did not jump in, then obviously I think Usyk would have just won there from a knockout. God knows why the ref stood in. You know, could have been medical grounds, anything like that. But then that point, obviously, you declare your winner. Good on Usyk for winning anyway, but I don't think that fight should have been stopped there.
For the 8th time in his career.
6,
He doesn't look right.
8. Will he be saved by
Busted
the
him up a
bell?
bit.
He's completely gone. The legs.
Yeah, it's completely gone. He was completely gone.
And that's it for the bell rings. He'll see
Oof,
another
there's the bell
round.
ring. So it was a good fight. You know what I mean? You can't go wrong. But at the end of the day, a fight's a fight. Usyk won. He's now the undisputed champion, which is quite good. He's undisputed now, so it is pretty good. I'd say his fight was a while ago, but that was one hell of a fight, which was quite good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I hope everyone else enjoyed the fight. Sad, I was working while it was on, so you know I got to watch the whole thing as well as do my job. Which doesn't mean I wasn't doing my job and watching the fight. I wasn't doing that at all. I was doing my job, but obviously I could see this TV still. But no, it was a good fight. Another fight that's actually just recently come on, which I watched as well, was the Eddie Hall fight, the 3-man fight. Well, the 2v1. See if I can pull that up. Let's get the highlights up. Now I know some people might have watched this, some people haven't, but it was crazy. It was crazy. I don't want to watch some guy talking about it. 2v1. So I'm not going to show you the first 2 rounds of the fight purely because, you know, what's the point of showing you the 2 rounds? Because I generally think them rounds were pointless because obviously is it the Nefaris? Nefati brothers? Something like that. So the Nefati brothers obviously were fighting Eddie Hall on a 2v1. And obviously Eddie Hall's a strong man, isn't he? So, and these lads, you know, compared to the size of hello Reese, I hope you're doing well. Obviously the Nefari brothers are not really big, you know. If one of them stood next to Eddie Hall, you could fully tell. Let's see if I can get the full fight, but I don't think I could. Is that the full fight? Yeah, I think that may be the full fight. So let's see if I can get the full fight up. Let's go back to my studio. Let's add that stage. So this is the fight. So my opinions on it. Okay, that's good. So obviously, let's play it from here.
Yourselves for the adrenaline.
You know,
pumping ending of the night.
5'2" against
The Nefati
3.
brothers versus Eddie the Beast Hall. This clash of titans needs no introduction.
Like, I just don't get. I get Eddie Hall's got a lot on the line, you know, but I want to see a strong man versus a strong man, like Eddie says. As you can say, if I just skip this.
The main event of the first edition.
I'll just skip this a little bit.
Way that they're going to
As you can
attack,
tell, that
but they
none of
have
them
to pull
were
the trigger.
trying to
They've
attack.
brought everyone here.
The shots have been thrown by Eddie Hall so far, and the fighters have been
Like
moving up.
I think the refs had to like intervene in this purely because
Well, you got to
you know,
encourage action. Timidity is against the rules.
they have to fight.
Leg
You
kick.
can't not fight.
They didn't even move him. I mean, that leg
Like
kick was nothing.
the fight.
Look, they're talking
Excuse
now,
me. Then the
and
Feety
the game's
brothers
been
tried to
shifted, a
like
bit of
just get
strategy.
little
Eddie came here for a
hits
fight.
in
He's been
so they
training
can waste
10,
all 3
5,
rounds not
6 men to
fighting,
fight him at once. Now he's
just
got
so they'll
two
get the
men in
points.
here.
But
Eddie's keeping
they
composure.
didn't in the end. But it's I'll skip it a little bit.
Once you're in there, it's obviously very different.
Obviously, Eddie Hall's getting a bit pissed
Men in
off
there,
with
they might have clearly
the
super
brothers.
frustrated. I mean,
So here's
I
round
think you
3.
signed up for a war, for a
This
fight.
is the round you really need to
And
watch
the
because
back
this
is
is the
trying to
round
say the
where
same thing. And now Eddie's standing in
you
the
know
middle.
it goes
They're
off.
not taking advantage of that either. Eddie backs up again.
Go on.
Eddie Hall is unimpressed.
He's just
really,
waiting
really
for that right
frustrated.
moment.
But I'm thinking if you're Eddie Hall, you may as well go for it now then. Like, Jay,
There we go. There's one.
He almost had
There's
one
one.
of them there. I mean, maybe turning it into a takedown might work for him.
Always going in.
I think you just got to chase him as much as you can.
At
This is
point,
where it gets
yeah,
interesting.
I mean,
You know,
less
40
than a
seconds
minute
left on the
in this
clock
third and
at
final
the last
round.
round.
Oh, the speed.
They're just so scared. Here we go. Here we go. Picks him up, power bomb. Oof. Knockout. Fucking brilliant. Like, you're just seeing as soon as Eddie Hall got a hold of them, they had no chance at all. Just look at the pure strength on Eddie Hall.
In this third and final round.
You know,
Oh,
just picking him up. Gone. Gone. And then obviously, when it was just the one brother versus the one brother,
Completely different.
you know, we had no chance at all whatsoever. There you go. No, down.
He's going to get his bicycle.
This is incredible. I've seen nothing like this before.
There you go. It's got him.
All over.
He's just going to beat him up, basically.
He cannot stay here. The ground and pound from Eddie. Oh, short
Ground
shot.
and pound. It's more like a sledgehammer to the head. Like literally just a sledgehammer to the head. But no, apart from that, that was a good fight. I couldn't fault Eddie on that at all. Because at the end of the day, he did have 2 people fighting him. He backed off. He didn't want them to get behind him. So, which is fair play. That's what you do. The other guys were just running around like chickens. But they also knew that if Eddie had got a hold of them, they wouldn't have had a chance either way. Like, they wouldn't have had a chance. And as you can see, they didn't have a chance. But, you know, what can you say? What can you say at all? But apart from that, that was a pretty good fight. So yeah, I've not really done an introduction about me actually. So for the people who don't know who I am, I'm Sean. I do a lot of things. I get a lot of hobbies. Some of them don't stick. Partner gets annoyed with that. But at the end of the day, I just like trying new things. This is going to be a new thing doing a podcast. So what we're going to talk about now is me for a little bit, just so you can get to know who I am. So I'm 22 years old. A doorman, or as people know from the old term, a bouncer. I've been doing it for nearly a year now with the company that I work for, which is T3. Great company. I'm a musician. I've been playing music for a little over 10 years, 11 years, 12 years. I started off playing drums when I was about 12. I got my first drum kit when I was about 14, 15, which my mum brought me. And that's when it really took off. I got a band in heavy metal and then learned how to sing in heavy metal, like screaming and shouting and stuff like that. I did a couple of shows, and then life got in the way. COVID happened. And then when COVID happened, it was at home doing my things online. It just wasn't really fun, but I passed. I got some grades in music, performance and production as well, which is quite good. I've kept them with me. I still try and do music when I can now. It depends on if I've got the time. I've got 3 guitars, so when I can, I play them. My daughter's getting into music, which is also good as well. Now, one thing I do want to bring up as well, because obviously this podcast is about controversy, news, anything like that that's happening on the world. Now, someone did message me in the podcast Talk Live group chat to talk about life in the real world, family, friends, jobs, hobbies, and place interest. Invite people to the podcast as well. So, me living in this real world. If you want to know what my opinion is, I think there's too many snowflakes. No one can have a joke anymore. No one can have a laugh. No one can write music that's controversial like they used to do, because there's always someone to moan about it. And they used to be the same back in the day, but you never got cancelled for it. People didn't pussyfoot around like words and stuff like that. Yes, I get they're harmful and meaning and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you can't fault someone on an opinion they have. At the end of the day, that's their opinion. If they want to have that opinion and you don't like that opinion, you can tell them your opinion. But then if it turns into a fight and an argument, just walk away. I don't have the habit of walking away when my opinion don't get shouted. But, it's one of them. You've got to kind of... It depends on the subject. Now, I know the biggest subject at the moment in today's society is the LGBTQ. Obviously in LGBTQ, it's massive nowadays. You've got to be careful what you say, hence why I'm not going to get into it, because it's just too much you can say that's wrong. But hey ho. So apart from that, working and stuff like that, in today's world, if you work, if you don't, like me, I don't have a degree, I don't have a master's, I didn't study into something specific, so I didn't really do good on my GCSEs either. I've not really had the mindset of that. Obviously now I do want to work, and obviously one of my goals at the moment is to become a police officer. Now, the problem with that is I've got the SIA license. I've got the security-based thing, working with vulnerable people in obviously a hostile environment when people are drunk. So now I've been with the company a year. I've worked in multiple different scenarios. I've worked in big venues, small venues. I've worked on events with thousands of people. I've worked in security in buildings, events and stuff like that. One's actually coming up soon, called NE1. It's in Newcastle. It's really good. The thing I like about it most is nowadays you've got families with children that don't have a lot of money and can't really go out and treat the kids. We're going soft play today, or we're going out for a picnic or stuff like that. People struggle with money badly today, especially in the UK. So what anyone has decided to do in the 6 weeks holiday for families to have some time together as families, they do something in Old Eldon. Is it Old Eldon Square? They call it Hippie Green. And basically what they do now is put on events for children that doesn't cost anything. And it's amazing to see kids actually get out the house for once. So obviously nowadays it's either going on the PlayStation, going on the Xbox, going on your phone, or going out in the real world and stabbing someone. Now, that's because I think youth clubs have been taken out. We've had so much cuts in this world, and people have resorted to violence and upbringings. Now, the good thing about what we're doing is, so we're the security side of things, so we make sure everything obviously goes safely. But no, they had a cinema screen with loads of deck chairs in the sun. You could take your kids, you could sit on the floor and have a picnic, and you can watch a film. You don't have to go and pay £12 to £15 to the cinema to go and watch something. You can generally just go and watch a film. Maybe not a new film, but you can still watch a film with your kids, and it's just that quality time together. And there's a soft play area, and then there's also got like a play area, which has got like books, reading stuff. And then they also like when I was working down on the quayside, they got like authors and stuff like that from like BBC to come and read stories and act out. And it was a great success last year. And you know, a lot of people were happy about it. And obviously being a part of that and working for that, like because I've got a child of my own, was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot, and you know, I can't wait to do it this year. So, but back to today's world is, you know, because obviously nowadays you get loads of you hear about a lot of stabbings and a lot of robberies, a lot of thefts and stuff like that from young children. And when I mean young, I mean from between 9 and 15. You know, so I'm just gonna take a drink, get coffee. Now, the problem with that is they're just kids, man. Now, you could have a fully grown adult, say me for a fact, 22 years old, and you'd get a 12-year-old coming up to you and rob you in daylight, and nothing gets done about it. People say, oh, the police are here, there, and everywhere, blah, 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 blah. Yes, they are, but we don't hear about the issue that gets resolved. I've known a couple of cases myself from where someone's been attacked, stabbed, robbed, etc., and they've got a slap on the wrist and told to go ahead and do whatever they want because they're not old enough to get punished. Now, I don't believe in punishment for a child, obviously, but for that sort of stuff, what are you supposed to do? What would you do if a 12-year-old pulled a knife out on you? You'd feel degraded. Of course you would. I'm sorry, I'd kick the kid in the face, but you know, I would then get done because then I've hurt a child. But he's pulled a knife out on me. So you see the controversial side of that. You know, you've got to be careful what you do because obviously at the end of the day, your life is at risk, and obviously they've got a life, so their life is at risk as well. Now, working with insecurity, if I see someone with a knife, I'll try and protect myself, other people, and the person with the object. Because at the end of the day, there's a reason why they're doing it. Not everyone is just doing it for fun, unless you're stealing bikes. That's a different story. That's too close to home, so let's not talk about that one, eh? But it's the fact of, you know, there's nothing out there for kids between the ages of 9 and 15 or even younger to go and do something. Like when I was a kid, me and one of my best mates, Brandon, we used to go to a youth club together. You know, that kept us busy for like 2 days a week. And then obviously it was one of the best things. Like, you've still got scouts and stuff like that, but let's be real. Scouts is nothing like youth club. You know, youth clubs got took out and no one really, it just died off. And I think it was a really good thing that, you know, should have, you know, it should have stayed. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We can't change that. So, would anyone like to be brought up on the podcast with me to have a chat about day-to-day life or anything like that? Please feel free to message me. I can pull you up easily. And we can have a discussion about what's going on now. We'll ask a couple of questions and see your opinions on things. I could try and get that sorted up now. But no, I think it'd be good for someone else to come up and share their opinions. Like this world is, you know, it's not the best to live in, and I'm surprised some people do live in it. But apart from that, you know, you can't never judge a book by its cover. That's one thing I've always learned. I've met people that are homeless, and you know, most people nowadays just walk past it and spit on you. You know, when working obviously around Newcastle town and meeting and talking to the homeless people, you know, they've all got a backstory, they've all got a reason, and you know what? Some of them are the nicest blokes you'll ever meet. Obviously, you do get the odd couple where they're like, they're not the best, but there's always a reason why they're there. Sometimes it's their own fault, sometimes it's not. But you know, you can't can't choose how, that's not your life and it's their life, and sometimes you feel bad for them and sometimes just feel like why do you even try? But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and if that's how people want it to be, then that's how people want it to be. Another thing, the elections are coming up soon, so how's everyone's feelings on that? Now, all I'm going to say is I'm Labour, straight in the park. Conservatives have been in power now for 13 years, or 13, 14, somewhere around there. What have they actually done to benefit my life? No, that's my opinion. What have they done to benefit my life? At the end of the day, I've never had an opportunity to be greater than what I am now. Not saying that I've got a crap life. I'm saying I live a nice life, not made money, always struggling. But at the end of the day, there's nothing really for my future. To become a police officer, I've got to do my driving lessons, which fair enough, I've got to do that anyway. But I've also got to have a grade 4 in maths and English as well. Now, to be able to have a grade 4 in maths and English, it means we're going to have to reset a full year of college again to get them, and that's because of my learning difficulties, and I never had that opportunity to learn more. I've got a grade 3 and a grade 2, so I need obviously two more levels on maths and one more grade on English. But at the end of the day, I struggled for a reason. I had help, but it wasn't. I'd say it was beneficial in college when I was doing my music, but it was not beneficial when I was doing my English and maths. And then obviously if you look into like being taxed and stuff like that, like working and whatnot, tax is a lot of money, and you have to pay tax on tax, and then you have to pay for everything, and then a little bit gets added on for other things like national insurance and obviously tax. I understand where that's going. Well, sometimes understand where that's going, but then you get taxed and everything else, and it's just like, what the hell? I get why they've got to tax things, but why does the Conservative Party have to keep upping it? At the end of the day, we're already in a crisis where not everyone in the UK has got enough money, and you're just making poorer people more poorer and richer people more richer. Like, you could be making something like, I don't bloody know. So I don't know what the actual figures are, but 120 grand, you pay something like 40% tax. And then you go up to something like, you earn like 500 grand and you just pay an extra 5% tax. But then if you're earning something like, say, 80 grand, you're earning like, you're doing like 30, I think it's 25% tax or something like that. And it's just like, so why do they have to pay 5% more tax, but then we have to pay 20% more tax on someone that's earning like 20 grand a year? And it's crazy. That's just something that's always baffled me. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You can't really fault people nowadays on struggling, because at the end of the day, it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they've not got anything. And obviously, I've come from a background where I've never had anything. I didn't grow up with anything. I gained stuff, but I didn't really lose stuff. But I gained a family and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Does anyone want to come on the live and chat or comment, or want me to discuss about anything, or what's the new news that you've heard or stuff like that? And does anyone want to come on? See if I can find what I was going to talk about. Let's have a look. Did anyone hear about Nigel Farage getting milkshake chucked on him? That's quite funny, to be honest. That's quite funny. Election isn't over. Aftershocks. That's bad Labour. But yeah, Nigel Farage got stuff chucked on him. Let's have a look. Nigel. Let's get it away. Nigel Farage got something chucked to him. That I think that's quite funny. All right, Nigel Farage. I think he can be a bit racist, but then again, so can a lot of people. I'm not racist, so that's all right. So, because I know he's got Reform as well, and you know I've heard the stuff about Reform. You Reform UK, and you know what? I'm actually like boosting them up a little bit. Let's go. Let's go on the news angle. Yeah, there we go. So open debate live. Let's share that. Let's get that up. Let's share it. Here we go. Let's share it. Right. So yeah. Oh, let's get rid of that. Doosh. Man arrested after object thrown at Nigel Farage in Barnsley. Reform UK leader on the top deck party battle bus when objects reportedly thrown from nearby construction site. A 28-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of a public order offence after Nigel Farage had objects hurled at him while campaigning in Barnsley. The Reform UK leader was waving to the local people from the top of his party battle bus in South Yorkshire on Tuesday morning when two separate objects were thrown at him. A protester could be shouting from a work site close to the bus before something was hurled at Farage. A man was then tackled by police officers near Barnsley town centre. Farage said the violent attack was pretty nasty and confirmed police have told his team before the incident that it was not a very good idea for them to leave the battle bus. Protest is allowed, Farage said. Protest is part of our democrat process, but protest needs to be within certain bounds. Protests do not involve chucking cement towards me or even stones. I don't mind if someone shouts something rude at me, I would probably shout it back, but when it comes to violence, that actually poses a real threat. It's yeah, you don't attack a man at the end of the day, but it was pretty funny. You know, here's the bit about when he got a milkshake thrown at him, which I think was pretty funny. Let's see what it says. Milkshake here, 25-year-old. Splashed across his dark blue suit as he boarded it. He tried to make light of the milkshake incident later that day, and as he posed for media with a tray of 4 McDonald's banana milkshakes during a visit to Jaywick in Essex. Senior Labour figures include Yvette Cooper and David Lammy commended the milkshake incident at the time. It's not the first time Farage has had a milkshake thrown at him whilst campaigning. In 2019, he was campaigning at the leader of Brexit Party, and Five Guys banana and salty caramel milkshake were thrown at him during a walkabout in Newcastle. That's actually quite funny because I'm from Newcastle, but it's funny. You know, no one deserves to get shit chucked to them, but at the end of the day, you know, just look at him. You know, he definitely hates that as a politician. You know, he's hating his life right now, 100%. But you know, at the end of the day, that's not Farage for you. You know, it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. But hey ho. At the end of the day, he did have it coming. He got warned. He didn't listen to that warning, and then he got shit chucked at him. But you know, hey ho. There we go. But apart from that, you know, you can't really complain. You know, it was quite funny. At the end of the day, what can you do? It's not like I can attack them back. It might be self-defense, but at the end of the day, you know, what's the thing? So, yeah, it's all right. It's all good. So, right, what we're going to do now is I'm going to have a look for oh, message just said something. Apparently my live's gone down. Let me just check. Why was it gone down? Apparently my live's gone down. Let's see if I can. I don't know why it's gone down. I'll be back in a second. Just a technical difficulty here.